What's going on, guys? This week I'm driving an all-new 2 Series BMW. This thing is pretty amazing. I'll already tell you that I'm a huge fan of BMW. The E30 M3 is one of the cars that got me into cars in the first place. I really love the 2002 Ti, and if they weren't so dang expensive nowadays, I would try to own one. But this thing, more than almost any other BMW that I've driven recently, brings me back to those enthusiast times. So let's get into it. Let's see what it is, starting off with a little bit of the trims and the different configurations you can get a 2 Series. So first of all, with name scheming of BMWs, a 2 Series should be a coupe, and it does come in a coupe. It comes in the Grand Coupe, which is this one, the 4-door coupe. You also get a convertible, and of course the M2 competition coupe. We're going to be focusing on the Grand Coupe, obviously, and if you get a Grand Coupe, you have 2 options. Your base option on the Grand Coupe is the 228i xDrive, and what we're driving here is the M235 xDrive Grand Coupe. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say the same thing that I kind of said. I really don't like how BMW has been putting M in front of non-M models. So this is the M235i, where previously they probably would have said the 235i M Sport or with an M Sport package. But this is the M235i, kind of the naming scheme that they have going on right now, which as an enthusiast, I don't like a lot, but as a consumer, I don't hate. All right, with that, let's talk about the exterior design. All right, so there is a lot to like about this exterior design. It's definitely aggressive, and a lot of that aggressiveness comes from the fact that it is the M235i. Up front, you get the aerodynamic kit, which adds character while reducing wind resistance with larger air vents and a sportier front and rear end bumpers. You get LED headlights with programmable LED daytime running lights. That iconic kidney grille is framed in with gray metallic looking trim, as well as these side vents. All right, moving along to the side profile here, I do have a little bit of a complaint. When it first pulled up, I could have sworn they pulled up in a Kia Forte after telling me I was gonna get a BMW, but quickly realized it wasn't a Kia. I don't know if that's saying something great about Kia or saying something a little bit dull about the design of the 2 Series. Either way, I do like the profile, especially with those big wheels and those blue brake calipers. We're going to get into that in just a second. First of all, we do have folding side mirrors on this thing, and these side mirrors have that same gray metallic cap as the front bumper did. But let's jump down into these wheels here. So standard on the 2 Series, you get 18-inch wheels. Ours are 19-inch wheels, and these are pretty standard looking BMW wheels. I like them. Those are Bridgestone all-season run flat tires. You also get the M Sport brakes, which provide potent stopping power, and those vibrant blue calipers. And I quite like the vibrant blue calipers. A lot of manufacturers are doing red calipers, orange calipers, yellow calipers, whatever. These blue ones really match the aesthetic of BMW, and again, I quite like it. Moving along to the rear of the vehicle, again, you get that aerodynamic kit, so you get a distinct rear fascia. We have slim LED taillights here. We have large dual exhaust ports, and of course, you can see that M235i badge and the xDrive badge, letting you know this is xDrive. The color we have here is Alpine White, one of my favorite exterior colors you can get this car in. There are some other vibrant colors that I do like in certain circumstances. They're cool to take pictures with, but if I was owning one, I really like this white. I also really like the black with black wheels and the shadow line design package, which gives you a lot of black gloss trimming. That thing, as far as I saw in pictures, looks really mean and even more aggressive than this one in white, but I really like white cars myself, so I like this Alpine White. Let's move along to dimensions of this car. This is the smallest series of BMWs, the 2 Series. So it is the smallest coupe and smallest sedan that you'll get. The wheelbase is 105.1 inches. The overall length is 178.5 inches. The overall width here is 70.9 inches and your height is 55.9 inches. And we can really quickly determine how that measures up with the 3 Series. But now we're going to jump in and look at the trunk. All right, in trunk space wise, you have 15.1 cubic feet of storage space here. That's not a ton for a sedan, but this is a smaller sedan, so it's kind of forgivable there. There's plenty of room for the camera gear that we need. If you needed a couple of suitcases back here, plenty of room. That is a 40-20-40 split rear seat, so you can drop those rear seats and give you some more storage room. If you wanted to put in a couple sets of golf clubs, you'd probably need to do that. But otherwise, again, it's a decent amount of space. And you do have some under space here to help carry a little bit more cargo. So now let's check out what's under the hood. So this is the BMW M Sport 2-liter twin power turbocharged engine that pushes 301 horsepower, 331 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 is in 4.1 seconds. That's all matched up to an 8-speed sport automatic transmission. And of course you have xDrive, which is the intelligent all-wheel drive system. All right, time to take a look inside, starting with the rear seats. All right, now first off, the obligatory, I'm 6'1", I'm a bigger guy. I don't fit really comfortably in these back seats. I do have a little bit of leg room here, but I'm definitely squished sitting up straight. Again, this is the coupe back end, so you definitely lose a lot of headroom in that regards. Other than that, they're comfortable seats back here. The kids fit back here just fine and don't complain, even sitting behind me, which my seat's a little bit further back than this passenger seat. You do get amenities like a pull-down armrest with cup holders built in, very nice. You also get 2 USB-C ports back here, very nice, and your own AC vents. All right, and with that, let's jump in the front seat, take a look at the rest of the interior, some of the tech. We'll take it for a drive, which is probably what a lot of you guys are waiting for. Then we'll talk about price and what this compares with, and we'll wrap this video up. Let's do it. All right, and before we jump in the front seats, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to TXGARAGE.com. If you're not checking out TXGARAGE.com regularly, you should be. All the videos that I publish here on YouTube are also on TXGARAGE.com. But we also have a lot of great authors over there that are doing written reviews, news coverage, and event coverage around Texas and around the country. There is just a lot of great content over there, so you should go check out TXGARAGE.com. Also, subscribe right here to the YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying so far. I got more stuff to plug, but I'll wait till the end of the video to do that. Let's just jump in the front seat. All right, and first of all, unlike the back seats, up here I fit just perfectly. Again, 6'1", but I have plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. This is a very comfortable seating position, and I fit just fine. So let's start off by talking about the interior color here. This is the Magma Red perforated Dakota leather interior. These seats are the M bucket seats. Our trimming here is the illuminated Brooklyn trim, which is pretty different, but also is really cool. And the illuminated part is that it illuminates at night. You get this nice little cross-stitched looking lights that shine through the trim. Really cool, and those lights will change color depending on the color you have it set for the car. And that's the trimming up here and the trimming on the doors. Now, we're not at a loss for luxury here. We do have heated seats. We do have a heated steering wheel. The steering wheel is the 3-spoke leather-wrapped multi-function M Sport steering wheel with controls for audio, cruise control, and Bluetooth communication. You also get these paddle shifters here for manual shifting. That's a lot to pack into the steering wheel, but the main point here is that this grip is perfect. It's a nice beefy steering wheel and it has the perfect grip. So optional on this vehicle, you can get the Harman Kardon surround sound system. This vehicle doesn't have that. It's got the base stereo system, which still sounds really good, and there's a lot of connectivity options for that, which we'll get into right now as we jump into the tech. So we'll come back to the infotainment screen in a second. First, let's talk about the driver's information display. And BMW dubs this the Live Cockpit Plus. This is an 8.8-inch instrument cluster here. This can be configurable. You can change the colors. You can change the different things that you're seeing as you're driving. Right now we have the sport layout with the navigation dead center there, which I do like this setup. Moving over to the infotainment display, this also is an 8.8-inch screen, so both screens are 8.8 inches. This is the multi-input iDrive 6 system, so it can be controlled by your voice, touchscreen, and the iDrive controller, which is right down here. And of course, there's a lot that you can get into with this system. You can check out the live navigation. You have phone connectivity, obviously your media preference, including Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can do your car settings from here, and there's a lot of different settings that you can go through. You can pull down here and you have another set of menus. This is where you can control some of your displays, including your instrument cluster. And as you can see down here, you have your dual climate control. A little bit further down here, you get your USB connectivity. That's also a wireless charging little pocket for your phone, which is pretty nice. It's always nice to have a dedicated pocket to hold a phone, especially in a sporty vehicle where you're going to be pushing it hard and things are going to be moving around a lot. Continuing to move down here, you have your traction control off, your engine start stop off, start stop button, your sport mode, comfort mode, eco mode. We'll talk more about those as we get driving. Your parking brake, that iDrive controller here, and a couple of media options right here. And of course your electronic shifter. Push the button on the side in and push up for reverse, all the way down back for drive, up a little bit for neutral. Once you're in drive, you can push over for manual shifts and push the button in for park. And speaking of reverse, you do get a nice backup camera here. You don't get a 360 camera, but you do get 360 sensors in here, so you do know how close you're getting to something in front of you based on these sensors. All right, and with that, it's time to take this thing for a drive. So one of the things you do get by getting the M235i is the standard M Sport suspension. That's going to have the springs be stiffer, give you a little bit more stiff of a ride, but it definitely also helps with the sportiness. You also get a standard Torsen limited slip differential, which helps keep those wheels planted. Your weight distribution in this vehicle is 58.3% to the front, 41.7% to the rear. So it's not a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. It's a little bit front biased, but it's not really noticeable in most day-to-day driving. You do have launch control in the M235i, and your 0 to 60 time is 4.7 seconds. We'll be testing that out in just a little bit. But more important than a 0 to 60 in this vehicle is the way that it handles, the way that it takes corners, and the acceleration out of those corners. That's where BMWs shine, the driving dynamics, and this thing does shine in those areas. You do get different drive modes. You get that Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro mode that we already talked about. But for the driving test, we'll keep it in Sport mode. That wakes up that exhaust, stiffens the steering wheel a little bit, and gets you ready to really push this car. Now, one thing that I found driving this vehicle is that I do like the exhaust note. It is a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but that exhaust note sounds really good. Steering wheel feels great. Seating position feels great. These bucket seats really hold you. Pushing into these corners and hitting these brakes, those M brakes stop really well. Coming out of the corners really quick. Back into the corner brake, turn in, perfect, nicely balanced. Everything about this car is just perfectly balanced. Steering is so nice. You can even just barely put in your inputs. You don't have to strangle the thing. There's just a lot that this thing does beautifully. And of course with BMW, it's basically a science. But you can really feel that they put everything into every single one of their vehicles. It's just so much fun to be back here pushing this vehicle like this. Let's get more to an open road where we can stop, get a little bit of a straightaway, and hit a little bit of a 0 to 60. All right, so we do have a bit of a straight road here. We are in sport mode, and we're going to try out a bit of a 0 to 60. So let's go. That's pretty quick. I probably didn't hit that 4.7 seconds, but I flubbed the start a little bit, but it's a quick vehicle. And more importantly, 40 to 60 or 30 to 50 is even better. And taking turns in this thing, like we already talked about, even better. And with that xDrive, there's really no slip. It's a very stable car. Of course, I didn't turn off traction control or anything. It's just fun, guys. Come on. You do get a lot of driving tech in this thing. You get radar guided cruise control, lane keep assist, parking features. This is a BMW. This thing is meant to be driven. You don't want this thing driving for you. So you can, of course, settle down, put it into comfort mode or even eco mode. The entire car settles down. It's a little bit less loud. It's a little bit less tight. And it makes it altogether a better day-to-day driving vehicle. You still get power whenever you want to get up and go. You just really got to push it. Instead of that immediate response, it's a little bit of a delay. But again, for day-to-day driving, putting it in comfort mode, no problem. There is a lot of aerodynamics on this car, but there's also a lot of wind noise in here. I don't know if that's because it doesn't have as good of wind dampening, just because of it being more sporty and lightweight. But there's a lot more wind noise than usually I would think a BMW would have. It's not that bad, but it is noticeable. You also do get a nice heads-up display, color heads-up display. Gives you a lot of different information, which I like, and it's configurable a little bit, but definitely like heads-up display, especially on a sporty car where you're not going to want to be looking down to your speedometer or RPMs or whatever. It's nice just to look ahead and see that thing floating out there. Of course, like normal, it's really difficult to get a good look at a heads-up display on video, but there you go. All right, so let's talk price and a little bit of competition that this thing has. Base price for the M235i is $45,500. Ours, with quite a bit of packages, is still only $50,295. I think that's a really great price for this. I know it's the smaller, more cheap BMW, but it's actually the BMW that I find myself wanting to buy. You can compare this to other small luxury sedans. There's really not a ton out there in that space that competes with this. Things that I think about when I think about cross-shopping this might be something like the new Kia Stinger. It's a sedan, very sporty, very reasonably priced. And I did review a Stinger. I'll put that up in the iCards if you're interested in checking that out. But when it comes to paying $50,000, $60,000 for a Kia and $50,000 for what I'm driving here, I would take this all day long. I know this is smaller than that. It doesn't have that twin turbo V6 engine. It's not as powerful, but this thing is an amazing vehicle and I really love the design. I love the interior. This would be my choice. And I'll probably get a lot of hate in the comments for even comparing this to that, but that's what comes to my mind for what's out on the market right now. But leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think this compares with, what you would cross-shop this with, because it's not always what is exactly in the segment. It's what you're cross-shopping it with that really matters. So let me know in the comments what you would cross-shop this with. With that, let's jump out and wrap this video up. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it. The M235i is an amazing vehicle. I really like it. Actually would be one of the vehicles that I test drive that I would love to actually own. That doesn't happen too often, but this one I would definitely own if I was in the market for a vehicle at the moment. With that, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stick around for just a second, and I've got a couple of things to promote if you'd like. If not, just go ahead and jump ship right here. But let's get into that. All right, well, I might have been hyping this up way too much already, but I definitely want you guys to go check out TXGARAGE.com, something we already talked about. Subscribe to this YouTube channel here. We also have another YouTube channel called TXGARAGE Newswire, where we post quick drive videos of the vehicles that we're driving, which are meant to get information from you guys on what you want to see in the video, or different cool things about the car that you might know that I need to know before I do the review, or even nitpicks that y'all might have, or concerns that y'all might have that you definitely want me to check out. I'd love to get those commented in those quick drive videos. We also do some news and event coverage on that channel. So if you're interested in that stuff, definitely go check out the TXGARAGE Newswire channel. We also just set up an account with Locals.com. That's not a dating site, even though it sounds like a dating site. Locals.com is a way for people to grow communities. It's kind of like Patreon, where you can pay to join in with the community, get exclusive access to us, exclusive videos, exclusive deals on things coming up. So if you go check out txgarage.locals.com, that's where you can interact with us over there. It's a $5 minimum to join the premium membership, but I would definitely appreciate anybody that does that. You are going to get some exclusive stuff there, and it's just a way for us to reinvest into this channel and into the .com site. None of that money really goes into my pocket. That's all reinvested into making this channel and the .com better. And obviously, if you want to follow us on Instagram, you should definitely do that. We post a lot of pictures, some stories, and some other cool stuff on Instagram. But that's basically the social medias that I pay attention to. So I hope you check out all that stuff. And again, if you're staying this far into this video, I really appreciate it. But now it's over.